The Clipper plugin is a way to create 3D masks, if you will, within your scenes. And we're going to set up a scene here to explain how to use it and show you what you can use it for. As you can see here, we have a scene open and we have a 3D object that we created in an external program within our scene here. So we just imported this. As I spin it around here, you can see that it is a 3D object of a submarine. Now what we're going to do is create a scene in that we're going to reveal half of this submarine to see the bottom half of it, which is going to be wireframe. So what I'm going to do is just copy this container here by holding down Control and clicking and dragging. Let's rename this Sub 1 and Sub 2. Now Sub 2, I'm going to drag my Expert on there first. My Expert plugin will allow us to create a wireframe by selecting this draw mode within the Expert plugin. So I'm going to select wireframe, and if I come over here and hide my Sub 1, you can now see that our Sub 2 is wireframe. So I'm going to go into my built-ins, into my CP and global folder. I'm going to find my Clipper and I'm going to drag this onto our Sub 1. Now when we click on the Clipper plugin and go into the properties, we don't have many options. We have planes and it goes through 1 through 6. So to demonstrate this, we're going to turn off planes 1 and select planes 2. Now we have to go into our scene settings and into the Clipper settings to adjust this. So here we are within our scene settings. We come down to the Clipper, and since we turned on plane 2 within our Clipper plugin, we want to make plane 2 active within the scene settings here. So I'm going to hit that little check mark and reveal the properties here for plane 2. And you can see when we did that, how it starts to reveal this or mask out the top submarine. I'm going to take my Z position here and start to adjust it, and you can see even further what it's doing. It's essentially masking out the top layer, allowing us to reveal the lower container. Now if I wanted to go the other way, I have an option here to rotate this all the way around, and now we can adjust it on the Z position going the other way. Furthermore, you can also do that by the reverse, so we can reverse this here as well, and then come up and adjust the settings further if need be. Now we also have an option here for the tracking object. And the way that works is that we can come in here and use an object to create a tracking object for the Clipper to follow. For instance, if I drag a sphere up here, and let's just move this position here, so we'll move the position on the X, we'll set a keyframe, we'll have it just kind of float back here on the X, and the Y maybe we'll set another keyframe, and then we'll go back into our Clipper setting here and use this tracking object. So I'm going to take my sphere container and drag it in over here to our tracking object, and you can see it becomes enabled. Now as we adjust our timeline, this mask will adjust with it. So you can see as it starts left here, it starts there, and as we advanced our timeline, the mask now moves with this sphere. So the planes within the Clipper settings here correspond to the Clipper planes within the plugin that's actually on your container. Now if you do have your tracking object active and you don't want to see that tracking object, you can click on the container and just disable that geometry right in this column here. Now when you advance your timeline, you don't see this sphere, but the tracking of the Clipper still happens.